This, I couldn't write one better. This says it all, and it's called my farewell letter. I would first like to thank you all for being part of my life. I now take my final journey back to heaven. I'm not alone, and family from heaven came to collect me and walk with me on my journey into the light and home. Please know that I have passed to a wonderful new chapter of my life, far greater than anything that I have experienced to date. I do not want you to feel sad for me, as this will make me sad in heaven. Think of me with laughter and happiness. Do not think of me with any illnesses, as these are only the things of my physical body. I am whole again. I am fit and well. I tried to live a good life, a spiritual life, helping others. I also tried to be a positive person and see the best in everyone with my glass half full. I've appreciated my life, my family and my friends. I've appreciated being loved and to love. I'm sorry to not be a part of your earthly life anymore, but it was my time to go back home to spirit as my work on earth is done. Take hold of my beliefs and make them yours. I shall watch over you and protect you. Look at my photo sometimes and talk to me. I will reply, just listen in your heart. Feel my touch with the warm breeze of summer and know that I am working in heaven. I will only be a thought away, but if you need me, you just think of me and I shall be there for you. You will never be alone, as you have all my love. The second piece that I'd like to read, I actually want to read directly to you, Amy, for the fact that this is a piece that Nan left for the children and grandchildren to read the day that she passed, and I know how much you wanted to be there, so this is for you from Nan. When tomorrow starts without me, and I'm not here to see, if the sun should rise and find your eyes all filled with tears for me, I wish you wouldn't cry the way you did today. We're thinking of the many things we did not get to say. I know how much you love me, as much as I love you. Each time that you think of me, I know you will miss me too. When tomorrow starts without me, please try to understand that an angel came and called my name and took me by the hand. The angel said my place was ready in heaven up above, and I would have to leave behind all of those I dearly love. But when I walked through heaven's gates, I felt so much at home when God looked down and smiled at me from his golden throne. He said, "This is eternity, and all I promised you. Today for life on earth is done, but here it starts anew. I promise no tomorrow, for today will always last. And since each day is the exact same way, there is no longing for the past. So when tomorrow starts without me, do not think we are apart. For every time you think of me, remember, I'm right here in your heart." Thank you.
Well done, Lauren. Daphne, it's your turn. She might need you to hold it, Phil, for her.
Can I manage without that? Around. Hello, everybody. Shirley's passing was a shock to us all, and I was surprised how it affected me. I've lost family and friends before, but she really touched our hearts. A true friend is one of the greatest things you can have, and one of the best things you can be. Shirley had so many friends and really loved her church family. We were happy to care for her. She was always good company in the car and so appreciative of everything we did. I was always telling her to dress warmer. We had many laughs over leg warmers, bloomers, and thermal vests. It gave me such pleasure to sit opposite her in Friendship Club and see her enjoying herself, laughing with Phil. I loved her sense of humour most of all. She always saw the funny side. Every day I would send her humorous captions and saucy jokes. I really miss that. Shirley had a great love for all. She loved her family and was always telling me about them and how wonderfully caring Victor was to her. Shirley left me 3 brooches. Got one. A butterfly, a dragonfly, and a sunflower. And I look on these as all very significant symbols in the way we shape our lives. Friendship, caring, love and humour. These are the treasures that make life meaningful. They do not cost a thing, yet they are priceless. I had all these with Shirley and will forever remember her. I'm very grateful to Ray and Jackie for giving me the chance to speak about Shirley and reflect on all our happy times together. Thank you, everybody.
Ivan?
I always do it. Afternoon, everybody. I always say evening, everybody, because I'm just used to working evenings all the time. Right. I first met Shirley, I think it was around about September, October 2003, because I came to this church when I first came to the church as well, because I sat in a development circle with Shirley in it. I honestly can't remember if it was September or October, and it was run by, can't remember who. No, Linda Willett. It was run by Linda Willett at the time. And I remember thinking at the time, because I was very new to spiritualism then, and I remember thinking at the time, because I sat next to Shirley in the circle. And as we all know and love Shirley, when she starts talking, she doesn't take a breath. And you do think she's going to pass out any minute now. And I was always pulling her up, going, take a breath, Shirley, take a breath. And she would just carry on and carry on and carry on. And I think it was the first 3 or 4 sessions, if you like. I remember coming back and thinking, this woman's a nutcase. In a good way. In a good way. And she was full of life and she was full of fun. And what's more poignant for me, my first ever demonstration was done on this platform with Shirley. And it was about a year to year and a half after that, every platform would always do together. And what baffled me about, and I dug this out, I'm surprised I still had it, the Wimbledon Spiritualist Church newsletter, June 2004, 2nd of June, Shirley, Monaco and Ivan. I'll stick that on the board. I found that. And then they were 27 pence. That was your granddad. That was your dad, wasn't it? Yeah. And yeah, we used to work together quite a bit. And what used to really amaze me about Shirley, and there's another story as well. I have a few, but I'm going to keep it to a few, was she was very good at clairvoyance. She was very good at connecting with spirit. But she, in her head, she could not do it without, as she would say, her knickknacks. She always had to have her knickknacks. For some of you don't know what the knickknacks are. That's a psychometry thing where you've got an item of jewellery. I was going to say item of clothing then. She had her day, Shirley. But yeah, but it was like she had her knickknacks. And I'll never forget that it was on a Sunday night. I actually didn't work. I came in to see this medium that Derek had booked for a Sunday night special. I can't remember his name. Real London East End boy. Mike something his name was. That's him. Matthews. Wasn't he? Right. All right, mate, how you doing? One of them. And he never turned up. He never turned up. And as Derek often did, I'm outside, I smoked then. I'm outside having a cigarette. Shirley was in there. Dell's come running out. Right, Ivan, Shirley, you're on. Get up there. And that was the first demonstration I did. Because when I did demonstrations at the start, I used to have a set of tarot cards blown up into A4, just a major arcana. And Shirley had her knickknacks. That's why we worked quite well together at the time. And I didn't make cards. She didn't have her knickknacks. We just got up and did it. And it was, it did work. I think it was a good night. Well, we had a good night anyway. And I always remember Shirley fondly like that. And her blooming knickknacks. And I know Shirley, she loved doing her poetry and her writings. And I, like Rose, thought to myself, oh, I'll try and do one. I'm not good at it. So I looked one up online. And I think it encapsulates Shirley quite well, I think. Now, no one ring me while I'm doing this, please. Excuse me. It's called I Walk in the Light. I walk in the light as I know the fellowship of love. God's Spirit is a part of me and flows from light above. I walk in the light and I find my heart melding with his. I am enshrined in the pure light in me, no darkness is. I walk in the light, even death I embrace, as I share the joy, the love, the light, the true Christ awaits me there. I walk in the light, the love way my unknown, path glows bright. God exists in the heart of me, and God himself is light. I think that encapsulates Shirley's attitude quite well. So God bless you, Shirley, and you will be missed. Thank you. Thanks.
Friends, Dawn's next, and as Dawn gets ready to come up, I just wanted to share one thing. You have to be a spiritualist to understand this, but when the Spiritualist National Union banned psychometry, Shirley was terrified. How am I going to do me knickknacks? So I told her to call it clairsentience. She went, oh, what'd that do? And she loved her readings, and I occasionally do know that when she was working in M&S on the till, she contact somebody by holding their hand and give them a quick reading. And I said to you, really, really shouldn't be doing that, because Marks and Spencer were Jewish and they wouldn't like it. And I was joking. She went, oh, right, I won't then. So Dawn, would you like to come up and share your words?
Good afternoon, everyone. We've come together today to celebrate, not to mourn, but to celebrate the life of Shirley, a woman of light, laughter, boundless creativity. She was a true gem, a kind and compassionate soul who brightened the lives of so many. Shirley and I shared a special connection when we spoke about our twins, her girls, my boys. She understood the unique journey of motherhood, offering words of wisdom, humour and comfort. She had an incredible gift with words, writing the most beautiful and eloquent poetry. Her verses brought comfort, carrying messages of love, healing, and of hope. She had a way of touching hearts, leaving behind a legacy in the rhythm of her words. Her creativity did not stop at poetry. Shirley loved her knitting, crafting warmth and love into every single stitch. And of course, we can't talk about our Shirley without talking about her love of Baileys. That little indulgence brought her joy. And I can imagine her now raising a little glass with a cheeky smile, watching over us all. As a medium and a healer, she had a very special and beautiful connection, always ready to give a message that would uplift and comfort through her connection to spirit. And she wasn't just part of our church. She was a presence, a fixture. And though she may not be here physically, she will always be part of the very fabric of our spiritual home. Shirley, you are deeply loved, and though you have stepped beyond the veil, your spirit remains in our hearts, our church, and in our lives. God bless you, Shirley. Thank you. I've just got a seat close on there.
Your turn. Do you want to come up or do you want to speak from there?
No, I'll come up.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to help me. Oh, I'll come. Go on then.
Come on, girl.
Look, be very undignified. If I wasn't in church, there's an answer to that. I'm mindful. We're in church. Although Shirley would giggle, I have to say, we're in church, and I'm suitably attired in my clerical shirt. Well, I hope you can all see me. I'll put that down. Not that anyone usually has any trouble hearing me, but my thoughts on Shirley. Well, do you know, it's reminded me, seeing some of the photographs, that apart from probably Marion and Jill and Shirley, we've all been at this church with the Robinsons since. That's a chap. And I remember Shirley, and I at one time we used to sort of like compare. I think it was a competition between me, Jackie, and Shirley. We loved our clothes, we loved our jewellery, and Shirley was my nickname for her. My personal nickname was Shirley Girly, and to me, she embodied that youthfulness that some people never ever lose in their life. Apart from the fact she had skin you would murder for, she had the most beautiful complexion for a lady of her wonderful years, but she had an inner spark that never dimmed. The last couple of times I saw her, I saw it wasn't quite as bright. I haven't been to the church as much as I would like, for lots of reasons. So I haven't seen her, recently as much as everybody else. But I remember her from those days, what fun she was, how giggly she was. And to me, she'll always be Shirley Girly. I tried to actually write a poem, which I don't normally have trouble with. If I'm moved, I rattle it off. I do like things rhyming. But the muse just would not fit, it just would not come along today. So I have to leave you with somebody else's words, but I found something that I thought was quite relevant. And funnily enough, Jackie told me that her runes had been found, and I only picked the poem out late last night, because when I realised I wasn't actually going to be able to write anything, I picked this poem out, or these words, and they're quite lovely. But my memories of Shirley, always immaculately dressed, always feminine, always graceful, talkative, and always lots of fun. I have quite a lot more I would like to say, but I think that one day I will write it all down. She certainly left an indelible mark on us all. From the little, you talked about the dragonfly brooches. Well, we love dragonflies and butterflies. And, and we always was eyeing up each other's bits and pieces. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Or a fancy jacket. And to me, that's just some of the things I'll remember about her. She sat in my circle for a little while, and I used to run the open platform. And I used to sort of say to her, you can do this without that. You can. But I think really it wasn't so much that it was a crutch, but as Ray said, she loved her way of working. She enjoyed it. She certainly liked her eyes lit up if anybody put anything sparkly down or anything nice. She'd say, oh, do you really want this back? And she was a good medium. She never had confidence in herself, though. She never believed she was. And she'd quite often say, well, was I all right? Was I all right? Yes, of course you were. Did they say yes? Did they, did you give them something that they could relate to? That's all that's needed.
I think that we've all got different memories of Shirley. Mine is her youthfulness at heart, her love of life, her sparkle. And I do believe you mentioned a glass of Baileys, didn't you? Because one of my fondest memories is seeing her stand there when we had a party here and she was saying, I don't drink, with a Baileys in her hand. Isn't it amazing how many people think Baileys isn't actually a drink? Anyway, that's all I really wanted to say. I'm not going to take up too much time, but I'm going to read these few words. And I do believe I was directed to them. I better put my goggles on, haven't I? Rooms of comfort for the bereaved. I am the light and the way. The earth is my garden. Each of the souls I plant as seeds germinates and flowers in its season, and in each I am fulfilled. There is no cause for grief when a blossom fades, but only rejoicing for the beauty it held, and praise that my will is done and my plan served. I am one with all creatures, and none is ever lost, but only restored to me, having never left me at all. For what is eternal cannot be separated from its source. I am with you all, and each of you is a channel for my light. Feel my love, enfold you now and evermore. Thank you.
Just want to share a few words about Shirley. And as I say, known her over 40 years, possibly even 44, 45 years. And consider her a very close friend. We travelled down to Somerset together and had a couple of days together. We managed to get all of the disabled help that we could off of each train. So that was quite a palaver. And then I ended up not feeling very well, and we needed an earlier train back home. And then trying to, get them to cancel the disabled help they were going to provide on one train to put it onto another train was really quite complicated. But they let us through back parts of areas that went for the public, and let us cross tracks and all sorts when we were down in the Somerset area. But I know that I'm not going to be without Shirley. I've sensed her every day. And so many things have happened, and so much guidance and, just inspiration from her. But I was speaking with Mary earlier in the week, and Mary said it'd be lovely if there was a couple of poems that were actually, I think, written from Carol or from Carol's guides. And they're actually entitled Shirley. So I thought it would be very apt to be able to do that. But do know that Shirley is always going to be with each and every one of you. She's having a whale of a time. She really is experiencing the most wonderful things and making sure, I think, she sat in so many circles that I think she's going to be at everyone else's circle, and, so don't be surprised, she'll be able to travel out a bit. But so I wanted to share these two poems or, inspirational words from Carol's guide. The first one was done on the 1st of May in 2008, and it's called Shirley. Your depth is as vast as your many sparklies. Your knowledge and wisdom is still growing. You have a beauty that is so rich that many fail not to notice it. Your life is full of wonder. There will be a time when you'll need strength, and you'll have that in abundance all around you. Don't be afraid to draw on that strength, as there is still work you need to do. If you thought you were going to retire, well, think again, for we need you, and your worth is of great value to us. Things will change with you. Please don't fight it. Just go with it, and the transition will be smooth. And so that was from the guides for Carol, and the other one on the 24th of the 5th in 2010, also called Shirley. It is now time for you to let go of the past, that of your material world. Let go of those who do not understand. They have their life to live and you have yours. There are those around you who wish to not understand your knowledge, your abilities, but most of all, your beliefs. This is making you so unwell as people are putting upon you. Stop. Taking on the responsibility of others as they must learn and take responsibility for themselves. Look after yourself, not others. They must do that for themselves. Be true to yourself and your beliefs. It is that will see you through. Your past is not your future. And I'd only spoke to Shirley. We were going to work together again in the new year. And, you know, I do believe that she's going to work with us in the physical. We celebrated Shirley's birthday on the last Friendship Club, just before her birthday was due on the Friday. So we wanted to play some of Shirley's favourite music because that's what we'd organised a few months ago. And so I thought I'd get Alexa to do it. And those of us who were there in Friendship Club, it was amazing because it kept playing random Christmas songs. You know, we were asking it for Pacific songs. And all of a sudden, it was Frosty the Snowman. You know, I was trying to play Max Bygrave's You Need Hands, and then it was coming up with another Christmas song. So there was no reason why these random songs, but oh, I know, for the war year. No, but we had a really joyous occasion, and you know, we had such physical activity. It was, you know, it was fantastic, but it was so uplifting and it was so funny, us trying to sing her songs and all these really random songs coming up, that I know that she'd be working with me for, you know, well, I assume forever, because, you know, as I said earlier in the service, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, not human beings having a spiritual experience. So we know very much that she'll be busy. You know, she's got a lot of family to talk to, a lot of children, grandchildren, all the family that are up there. But she'll be here because her heart was here. And we know that she'll be here every time the church is open. In fact, she doesn't even have to wait for the church to be open because she can just be here anytime she wants to be. And so know that, keep your Shirley in your heart and know that she will always be there for us. And she'll always be picking up the strangers as well, because I don't know how many times Shirley had spoken to random people at the bus stop and then got them to come to church with her. You know, and then at the hospital, she was giving, you know, some of the nurses readings. And sometimes I was a little worried that some people that she was just talking completely random to, you know, to be careful. But, you know, she was 150% so sure, you know, of her belief in spiritualism, that she was a great ambassador for spiritualism and for telling people, come this way, this is what I've found, this is my spiritual truth, and this is the love that I have for everyone, and come and share it. So we know that will be with her the whole time that there is a Wimbledon church, she will be there. And she'll be at Hackbridge Church as well, because I have to just share for those of you, as she was doing the service with Jacqueline Hill a few weeks back, and they had done almost all of the people that were there, and there was only a couple of people left. So Ashley said, oh, I'll do a colour reading. And he said to Jackie, do the first colour reading, which he did. And then before he could actually do the next one as a colour reading, somebody came up with an object and thrust it into his hand. And he said, well, that's funny. He said, I don't really work with objects. He said, but I can feel Shirley's on the platform with me. And it was Shirley that worked with him for that. And I thought that was amazing because he hadn't asked for an object. He had intended doing a colour reading just so everyone there had, you know, come away with a message. And I thought, Shirley, you've managed to work on the platform at Hackbridge again. Yeah. So I know that she worked. She probably worked with us in Spirit Seek as well later in the year. I know that, she, you know, and it was sad that there was only one that she missed in the 20 odd years that we've been running Spirit Seeker. So I know she'll use any opportunity, whether you're working as a healer, whether or not you feel inspired with the writing and the mediumship, she'll be there with you. I know that, and she'll be here in the heart of this church. Thank you.
Yeah. There's a few times in my personal life where Shirley has come up trumps. One of them was when Jackie was seriously ill in hospital and she'd had a major operation, and she phoned me up and said, could she come and cook for me and could she bring food down and stuff like that? And I said, no, I'm managing. And then on another occasion, when both our mums passed to spirit and our dads, she said, can I be your spiritual mum? So we did that for a while. But Shirley practically put this service together. She gave me a lot of ideas on what to read, what not to read. And she spoke to me about it. But we're all saying what a wonderful, sweet human being she was. But I have to be honest, she could have a temper when she wanted to. She could stand her ground better than anyone on the shed end. She really could, seriously. And we fell out for a few months and we didn't talk, as she did with my mum and dad. She blamed the pill on that one with dad. She was on a pill that upset her. And she kept saying, and dad would shout out, are you still on that pill? She said, no, Del, I'm not. But we fell out. We didn't talk properly for a few months. And then she phoned me up and we met and we sorted everything out. But she was not afraid to come forward and speak her mind if she had to. And the family know that more than anyone. And she was great as a human being in this world. And the world is a sadder place for her passing to the spirit. People keep saying to me, we've lost Shirley. We haven't lost Shirley. We've gained a different type of Shirley, a body better than flesh, spiritually motivated and comforting. And as I said to you, my own experience this week, she's been there. But she asked me one day for a book of services to take home and have a read. And I said, you're after me job? She said, oh, no. And she picked out some things she wanted me to read at either her funeral or her memorial. And one of the things she asked me to read was, Jesus said, verily, verily, I say unto you, if a man keepeth my saying, they shall never see death. She liked that. And because of some of the early days in witness, she knew that one as well. Because whenever the witnesses knocked on her door, which was always interesting, she would tell them she was a Christian spiritualist. And spiritualism, for those of you who don't know, we're a broad church. You can be a spiritualist or a Christian spiritualist, especially here at Wimbledon. And the major reading she wanted me to read was from St. John 14, verses 1 to 7. Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in me, believe also in God. In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it was not so, I would have told you so. And I go there to prepare a place for you. And if I go there to prepare a place for you, I will receive you to myself. And Thomas asked, whether the direction, where do we know we are going? And Lord looked at Thomas and said, I am the way, the truth, and the light. He that believeth in me will never see death. Now, first, Shirley loved that. She truly loved that reading because she knew that she would never see death. We have to understand as spiritualists, death has no meaning to us in a real sense of the word. We continue from one life to a more abundant life. And Shirley hoped and believed in that. One of the things she said to me, I can't wait to meet my mum and dad again, and a few other people she mentioned. And she said, and some people, she said, I've got a few words to say to them when I get over there. But the point is, and what I'm trying to get to, she was never shamed or embarrassed of her testimony in spiritualism. As Jack said, she would talk to people at the bus stop. She brought 2 or 3 times on a Wednesday, she brought people here that she had literally just met at the bus stop getting on or off the bus. She never thought twice. And I said, how did you? Oh, I only just met them. But I told them about this church and I told them about this and I said, okay, sure, come on down. And she believed in her church. She would come here and she loved coming here, as you all know. But it was even better if she got a message. and she loved receiving her messages from different people. But she also knew that she would have to learn to grow in the spirit, like she had to learn to grow, as we all learn to grow here on earth. And she wanted to understand that in a greater sense. And I remember saying to her, and Shirley never liked admitting to her age. She was always 21, 25. She never really went past 25. And I remember saying to her, aren't you over 80 now? And she, shh, nobody knows, nobody can worry about it. I'm 25, I think, today. And she loved being what she felt was being just her. But God said, in strength, I will establish this mine house to stand firm forever. And she knew that. She believed in that. She came and saw me being ordained in March 85. She would phone me up and talk to me. And a couple of times where I had some health scares, she would phone me and talk to me. But we always believe with no need to tell everybody what we're doing. She just did it. When Victor had got his garden ready, the tomatoes came down and the green beans and everything else. And she loved doing that and sharing that. And I'd have to say to her, I've got enough, I've got enough. She said, no, you've got some more, you've got some more. And she was talking to me and Jackie Christmas Eve. And she said, are you going to Malta this next year? And I said, well, we hope to. She said, can you put me in your carry-on? Because I'd be too cold to be in the hold, but I'd just be on the carry-on and I can have a Baileys with Jackie and everything will be fine. Our spiritualism, our unique belief in our spiritualism is part of who and was Shirley. Because we are like a giant diamond as spiritualists. We have so many facets, so many hues and colours. And Shirley's pink and her butterflies and her dragonfly was so unique to her and to us all. We must not doubt in the belief and knowledge of spiritualism. Yes, it's great to mourn. Yes, it's great and okay to have grief. But Shirley has not left us. Victor's told me how she's moving his glasses around now. I'm praying that she'll upset the Jehovah's Witness side of the family. They'll probably call in the Jehovah's Witness leader and get her to bless their home. But all jokes aside, Shirley loved her spiritualism. And whenever she thought there was problems in the home with Shirley's daughter, Harley, who was Victoria. And as Victor and Shirley did say to me, what a beautiful name, Victoria. Anyways, we move along from that very diligently. And how she felt they needed help and guidance. I'd been round, Ashley has spoken to you, I believe, over the time, and other people as well. And we've always tried to do our best to help. And she would always say to me, well, I'd love all this. I would love all this happening in my house. I said, well, I don't know if Victor would mind. Well, I'll do it when I'm gone. And she's doing it now she's gone. We are not alone ever in our lives. And if we feel alone, like that story of the footprints, is when God is with us at our side, divine spirit, great architect, whatever phrase we want to use. And they carry us through the mile of that part of life that we're going through and helps us through. I know one of the things Shirley loved doing was talking at the Imperial War Museum, talking about her days as a evacuee and during the war and all that. And my dad's coined that phrase from Only Fools and Horses, during the war. And she always had a little tale and story. I can't say I miss her because she still talks to me, she still comes to me. And any psychologist in the room, I'll talk to you afterwards if you really want me to. But she has not gone. She continues her mission, continues her light, bringing light into our darknesses and bringing that passion that she had, especially when she was younger. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Shirley liked that because, as you all know, at the latter part of her life, she had a crutch. And she used to say, that's my rod and staff. Shirley, we bid you a fond au revoir. We will meet again sometime, someplace. And we'll physically sit down. Jackie's coined a new name for part of heaven, the Heavenly Arms, the pub, where I'm sure she's up there having a Bailey's, 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4. I've been with her when we've had 3 or 4. I think I encouraged her on the 3 and the 4. Down in a Wetherspoons one day. But the love that Shirley had for us all individually was a real love, a love with substance, and it sustained us through, and it will continue to sustain us through to our journey end. I was mentioning to our eldest grandson, Ethan, the other day, we're going to talk about Shirley on Sunday. She's gone to heaven. And he said, why? She's not gone. She's in heaven. So how can you say she's gone? And I said, oh, sure, Grandad, shut up. He went, probably a good idea, Grandad. The light and countenance of spiritualism, Catholicism, and all other major religions and denominations within the world's religious kingdom all believe in one thing, that there is a continuing life. The only difference between us and the JWs, they think it's only 144 going there. I think they'd be a bit surprised when there's 146. Friends of Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, family of Shirley, we are with you. We will support you where we can. We will never leave you bereft, because Shirley never left us bereft. Friends, leave here today and go forward. See, Shirley, go forward with all the light and countenance of the Spirit, and bring that knowledge that you have, your individual teachings that you have, bring it to the forefront. And maybe the next time you're sitting at a bus stop, think of Shirley and talk to someone. Good morning, good afternoon. Bless you all. Thank you, friends. Father of love, as we take our separate ways, encouraged and upheld by this service, grant that this blessing may go with us, holding in our minds the thoughts of that link us closely to our dear Shirley, who now is in the Spirit. With grateful hearts we thank thee for thy love and the help that is passed on to us by thy angel messengers. May we ever respond to that guidance, that beautiful guidance. So as we pass through this short stage of earthly life, strengthened by faith, knowledge and truth of understanding of spiritualism, we will know always, with thee, we are not alone. There is a peace of God that passes all understanding, keeps our hearts and minds in the knowledge and love of God and of the teachings of the Spirit. And with the blessing of God, we depart in peace, now and forevermore. Amen. Go in peace, my friends. God bless you all. Just watch the screen and watch some